Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Murray State University. As I think all of you are aware, we're really starting on a wonderful round of activities and events and dedications and dinners and parties, and I think there's a football game in there somewhere too tomorrow to celebrate another wonderful homecoming weekend here at the university. I'm just so excited to see everyone who's come together for one of the first of these undertakings for this very fun weekend, and that is our dedication of the Arthur J. Bauernfeind College of Business. As a number of you know, we had wanted to do this earlier in the year, but given some illness that Art had at the time, we decided to just wait and have an opportunity when he could be present and bring us all together, and somehow seems quite appropriate that we are able to do this on homecoming weekend, given your own athletic prowess back in the day, that we do this. Maybe not on the football field as much as in the baseball field, but I know Tommy will address all of that. But we're glad to be able to come together to start a wonderful homecoming weekend with this very important event. With that, it's a pleasure for me to introduce someone who has just been amazing in moving the College of Business at Murray State forward. He was one of the very first meetings I had when I came here as a president. Tim is very entrepreneurial, if you didn't know that about him. And probably literally, Tim, with my first week on the job, you were in asking me for money for a new program. And we funded that, and it's something that is sustained until today, and it's very powerful, our Outreach MBA that continues strong and has added greatly to the repertoire of programs and services in the college. So, ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce to you Dean of the Arthur J. Bauernfeind College of Business, Dr. Tim Todd.
Tim, thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you much. Okay. Thank you, Mr. President, and thank everyone for being here. What a great day. What a great day in the lives of our students here at Murray State University and in the Arthur J. Bauernfeind College of Business. An historic day indeed. It is a known fact, ladies and gentlemen, that Murray State in general and the Arthur J. Bauernfeind College of Business in particular, inside those two units and other colleges and academic units, we are involved in lots of activities that lead to very sound results, from enhancing economic development to engaging in intercollegiate athletics with the kinds of successes we've had in the last few years. Many of those students major in the 6 departments in the College of Business, to art, music, and theater performances throughout the university, to providing seminars and many quality of life linkages for the citizenry in and around our state. But if we broke down all of those processes into the one critical process that Murray State exists for and the Bauernfeind College of Business exists to do, it is to focus on teaching and learning. The focus on teaching and learning is where minds are expanded. It's where processes are engaged in. It's where lives are changed. It's where quality of life is enhanced in our region. Dr. Bauernfeind and his family knows this, and his gift today, along with many, many others that he's given to this university and to this college, will be transformational as we educate the next generation of accountants, economists, finance professionals, management and marketing leaders, computer information system specialists, organizational communication managers and executives, journalists, and public relations professionals. Dr. Bauernfeind, this is your day. This is your day, but it's our day too. And most importantly, it's a great day for our students, our past students, our current students, and our future students. Our students throughout the region, the country, and the world are going to benefit transformationally from your gift today and the many others that you and your family have given. In that theme of academics and academic excellence, the highest honor that can be bestowed upon business students and faculty worldwide based on our accreditation is induction into Beta Gamma Sigma, the Honor Society for Accredited Business Schools worldwide. I'm honored to present to Dr. Arthur J. Bauernfeind a richly deserved membership into Beta Gamma Sigma. Dr. Bauernfeind? Diploma, if you will.
I haven't got enough hands yet.
Thank you, sir. Back to you.
Congratulations, Art. I know in a few minutes you're going to hear from Tommy Wells, maybe on some more personal reminiscences about Art, but I do have the pleasure of providing a few remarks to talk more about his professional background, what he has meant to the world of business, and just to share with you some of the background of Dr. Arthur J. Bauernfeind. You know, one of the first goals that we had during the Hold Thy Banner High campaign was the naming of the College of Business. So it's only fitting, I think, that the largest single donor to the College of Business is the one who provides its naming that we celebrate today. There's no doubt that as a university moves on an arc towards greatness and success, national prominence as well, one of the marks of that is the naming of the collegiate units. And certainly with the Hudson School of Agriculture and now the Bauernfeind College of Business, we keep moving toward that arc of excellence, and this is a very important symbolic aspect of that work. And as noted, it is one of only two named collegiate units on the Murray State University campus. Art has had a distinguished career and record of service to his alma mater, to his university. Certainly 20 years on the Foundation Board of Trustees. Again, just meeting all day today to help set a course to ensure the excellence of the university well into the future. 10 years of that time as its chair, and Art, we might also add, as its unpaid investment manager during that time, which we absolutely value and appreciate. It is certainly true that all 6 academic departments of this college, the 2 outreach centers, the Regional Business Innovation Center, the Small Business Development Center, the faculty, the staff, the students, all benefit from this naming and the ongoing support that has undergirded it. Dr. Bauernfeind has played a hugely important role in the overall success of the Hold Thy Banner High comprehensive campaign, which we'll be celebrating this weekend, of course. He's established previously the Bauernfeind Endowed Chair of Investment Management, held by Dr. David Durr, a faculty member in the college. He's assisted with the university with a gift and a naming that gave us the Susan E. Bauernfeind Student Recreation and Wellness Center in honor of his late daughter. And recently, in addition, has made a substantial additional unrestricted gift that will benefit the college and its students for many, many years to come, indeed into the perpetuity of the institution. Dr. Bauernfeind's distinguished professional career has been in the financial industry. Currently, at Westfield Capital Management, he serves as Chairman Emeritus, and of course, in his previous role, had been President and Chief Executive Officer. He's a 1960 graduate of the MSU College of Business, and when you think about the stature of an individual, when you think about what you want in, again, the trajectory of a career that suffices for the naming, particularly in this case of the College of Business, it's an honor for us to be able to do this. Art, you'll remember a conversation I think we had years ago in Chicago shortly after I started as president, where we engaged discussions, moved forward on all of the work that you've been able to do for the university, and I can tell you it's my heartfelt appreciation for what you're doing for us that we celebrate here today. But as I mentioned, we do have some personal reminiscences that I think in such an occasion we have to take into account. And we have with us, as you note in your program card, Tommy Wells. Tommy's actually a Murray native, distinguished himself on the baseball diamond, was a pitching ace for Murray State's first OVC championship team in 1957. From there, Tommy signed a professional contract with the Los Angeles Dodgers, was considered actually one of the most promising pitchers in the organization before an injury changed that arc and career for him. But he was inducted into the MSU Hall of Fame. I almost said indicted there, Tommy. I don't think that comes into play with what I've learned about you. Was inducted into the MSU Hall of Fame in 1968, and just a wonderful story. He and Art met on campus the first few weeks of that freshman year. It's a story that gets told every fall as we have that welcome week when students for the first time come to the campus, and that friendship has carried on for an entire lifetime. Tommy's now actually in Bellevue, Idaho, wanted to be able to come back to campus for this occasion. So ladies and gentlemen, please help me in welcoming Tommy Wells to come to the podium.
Well, thank you. I've had to fight hard for this opportunity. I'd made some threats to Diana that if I didn't get invited, I'd even stand up and impromptu tell some stories on art. So that's how I got to be able to formally address the crowd. You know, I had some prepared remarks, but walking over here, I just had this thought, and I have to share it with you. As most of you know, we grew up here. I grew up here in this town, and played Little League baseball right out here, but this used to be our baseball field right over here. It's where we played. And I just realized walking over here, the business school now took up our old baseball field. And now, lo and behold, they're going to call it the Arthur J. Bauernfeind Business. So thanks, Art. The reason I'm here actually is I'm sure I'm the oldest friend in this entire crowd of Art, because it was September 1956. I walked into the hut over here, and there was this young guy, skinny guy, wrestling with a baseball pinball machine. And I couldn't believe he was just like kicking it around, and I knew right away he was probably a pitcher because he was having trouble hitting his own pitching on the pinball machine. So I walked up and I started talking to him, and I was laughing at him, and we got introduced, and that's how it started 56 years ago. And we've been wonderful friends for all that length of time, and even to this day we talk weekly, daily sometimes on investment strategies and political views over the internet, and he debates my son on tax policy on the internet, and my wife Judy and Diana are wonderful friends, and they talk at least monthly back and forth, and we've visited in California and Idaho and Boston and Florida over the years. So it's been a wonderful long friendship. But just in case you all don't believe any of this, I have some props. I want to show you a few things here. I have a picture here of that fall of 1957. It might have been over in 58 because we'd gone up. I introduced the Art to some of the local boys besides Dick Stout and Tommy Rush and the guys that were on the baseball team. He met them through the athletic side. But here's a picture. I'm just going to pass it to some of you to take a quick look at it. This is what we all looked like at 18 years old, 56 years ago. A little bit about the story. I'll pass it. I'll start to let you see it. It's Charlie Walston on there. It's Fred Wells and Art and myself and another Kentucky Murray boy, Max Ferris, made the picture. It was 5 of us. And that was made in Owensboro, outside the motel room the next morning. We'd gone up there. Charlie said he'd run into some gals the week before that needed rescuing up in Owensboro, and that was the purpose of the trip. And we'd all 5 of us had been in that one room, 2 double beds and a rollaway. And that morning before leaving, Art and I were involved in a little horseplay back and forth, and we broke one of the beds down flat on the floor, you know. And we propped it up carefully, and we sneaked outside hoping it wouldn't fall down when the maid made up the bed. And that picture was made moments later. And you notice nobody's looking at the camera except Fred, because Charlie was worried because the room was registered in his name. And it was either Art or I that had broken the bed down. And by the way, we never did find the girls to rescue. So, on a more serious matter, there's going to be a lot of praises and accolades and congratulatory comments made about Art today. And but I would venture to say, unless I bring it up, there's 2 people that were not even going to be discussed or even thought about today. Because if Art hadn't come here, none of us would be here this afternoon. If he hadn't come to Murray State. So who was responsible for getting Art to Murray State? Well, let me tell you who and why and how. The two people are Waldo Sauter, who was the 1956 baseball coach, and then athletic director Roy Stewart. You see, Art graduated from high school in Niles, Michigan. He was a baseball star. His brother had signed professionally, and he was widely recruited. It was Michigan State, University of Michigan, Central Michigan, Western Michigan, and you know how many big schools between Murray and Niles, Michigan. I mean, you know, Notre Dame, Indiana, Illinois, Wisconsin, just start naming them all. But somehow, Waldo and Roy were able to go up there and compete with all those schools and entice Art to come to good old Murray State and be a part of the baseball team. Well, let me share with you. I just happen to have a copy of the contract he signed. I'm going to share with you the enticement and investment Murray State made in getting Arthur here, okay? In fact, this was dated 1957. It actually is my contract, but he signed the same one identically. It was called a workship. And here are the terms. I'm going to read a few of it. It says, the agreement reached on this day of May 20th, 1957 between the Athletic Department of Murray State and Arthur J. Bauernfeind makes the following stipulations. The Murray State Athletic Department will furnish sufficient work at the rate of $1 per hour for the above-named athlete to earn $102 to help defray school expenses. Further, the athletic department will also furnish the athlete with books from the lending library. The athletic program agrees to keep certain hours open each week for work. This is to be decided upon before the registration of each semester. This will probably be each Tuesday and Thursday from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. and on each Saturday from 8 a.m. to 12 noon. The athlete will be paid by check at the end of each semester. A work chart is to be maintained by the athletic department to show the number of hours worked. The hours worked each day is to be initialed on the work chart by the athlete. That was the investment Murray State made in Arthur Bauernfeind's side to get him here. Now, Art, you've made some wonderful investment decisions in your life. You've run major institutional accounts and endowment funds and mutual funds and wealthy accounts. But I challenge you, based on your your contributions to Murray State, if you look at the return on investment they've made on you from this contract, I challenge you, if you have any other ideas that would equate to how well Murray State's done and their investment in you on investment return, let's meet after this meeting today. Anyway, that was fun. I got to build a pitcher's mound, and I don't know what Art did, but we did. We got to know each other quite well doing those work chores out there on the baseball field. By the way, Tim Miller told me, said this contract would be illegal today. So basically they got him here on an illegal $1 an hour contract. Now, the picture I passed around, in a more serious note, let me just say to you that I was 35 years in the investment business myself. I know the names of all the gurus on Wall Street and in Boston that ran the mutual funds and all the big funds and the names, and there were famous people, and Art was there competing with the best of them. And you all know and have heard about his successes over the years. But let me tell you a little bit about the guy. In spite of his success, in spite of all the honors and accolades and charts and pictures and handshakes with famous people that could be on his wall in his office in Boston, if you walk into that office, and I have, that picture that I just passed around there is on the wall. And that tells me a lot about the guy. In the South, they have an expression, he didn't get too big for his britches. And that's Art. And I want to thank, on a personal note, Art, I want to thank you for your personal friendship over these years. And Diana mentors my daughter. He's been to my daughter's graduation in Boston, and he knows my friends. But mainly, we see each other and talk to each other, almost weekly. So it's just been one of those marvelous long-term story friendships that all started right here on that pinball machine over in the hut. Anyway, I can just cheer you, the business department. You put his name on the door. I can vouch for the guy. He's never going to embarrass us. Thank you very much. I would like the picture back because I'm going to give it to Art. He's asking for another one of them.
Art, if we could bring you on up, please. One of the things that we want to do beyond having you see this wonderful building, your name, is to also present you with a gift in honor of all that you've done for the university, not just the dedication, the support that has led to this, but really everything with the foundation, your investment advice, mentoring to students, so many things that, as Tommy has suggested, go well beyond the typical things that would come to mind as we celebrate this sort of event. So on behalf of the university, we want to present you with one of those traditional gifts. I'll kind of grab that. You want to pull it out? Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Arthur J. Bauernfeind. It's all yours. Thank you. It's all yours.
Good afternoon. I am humbled by all of this. It is a remarkable day for me, and I just thank you all for coming. And wow. I had a speech prepared, which I've sort of forgotten. I hope you don't mind. What I'm thinking about is, I thought I was going to go to the University of Michigan, and even in 1956, you go up there and get lost in the crowd. I didn't go there, thankfully. I came to Murray. I didn't get lost in the crowd. And I remember with so much fondness, all of my 4 years here, I loved it here. I would never have thought of going anywhere else, knowing what I knew, and I just enjoyed it so much, all the time, every hour, every day. I just loved it here. For some reason, I'll always remember that as a freshman, Guy Battle, who was the head of the English department, taught my section of English Lit. He was a wonderful gentleman. I was so impressed with him. I thought he was so intelligent, and I don't think I could have gotten the attention from a professor at Michigan that I got from Guy Battle. Tommy and I, among others, on the baseball team went on a road trip, and I turned in a lousy paper to Dr. Battle, and he called me in and said, Mr. Bauernfeind, you can do better. This isn't your best work. Take this back and do it again. And I said, well, I'd been on a road trip with the baseball team, and I didn't really have time, and I didn't put my best effort into it. He said, I believe that. Take this back and do it again. And I did. I didn't make an A in the course, but I made a B. And I was happy with that. And I don't know why I'm telling you this, except that I just had such respect for him as a professor. And where else could you go and get the head of the English department teaching a freshman lit course? Truly extraordinary. And I just thought the man was wonderful. Anyway, that wasn't what I came to talk about. But I really like Dr. Battle. What I would like to talk about is a couple of articles in recent newspapers, one in the Wall Street Journal, the other in the Financial Times of London. Wealth or waste, rethinking the value of a business major. In front of this beautiful business school, rethinking it. Top college degrees. In the United States, in 2008-09 academic year, 21.7% of students majored in business. The next highest was social science and history at 10.5% and on down. I won't bore you with all the details. But the point was that the business major seemed to be attracting a lot of attention. And You could attribute it to perhaps to some academic jealousy, but I would never accuse anyone here at Murray State of academic jealousy. And today I discovered that 20%, according to Dr. Todd, of Murray State students are in this school right here. 20%, a little over 2,000 students. Is that correct? So we have about our quota. And the criticism of business curricula is that it is too rote. It is too much based on accounting and very precise sciences, and there's no thought process involved, and there's no ethics taught, and there's no speaking in class, and there's no written papers. This is the criticism of business schools by others in academe. My reflection upon my education all the way through graduate school is not that at all. And I don't understand where these people are coming from who are writing these nasty articles. And so I have to wonder if it is academic jealousy. Because we have an ethics course in our undergraduate program that is a required program for a required course for graduation. And so we have it here. In graduate school, the same graduate school Tommy Wells went to, although I got there first, we did case problems, just like they do in Harvard Business School. And by the way, at Harvard, you cannot major in business in undergraduate school. You can major in econ, but not in business. But in the Harvard Graduate School of Business, part of your grade is based on your participation in class. You talk up in class. You project what you have to say. You can imagine Mitt Romney in one of those MBA classes. Oh, he must have talked him to death. Anyway, in our coursework at the University of Kentucky in the MBA program, we did the same thing. And how much we talked in class, even if we were wrong, the professor might guide us a little bit over in another direction and say, why in the world would you think that? Nevertheless, we had lots of discussion group, lots of talk, and we would break up into individual groups, and just among 4 or 5 of us, we would discuss all sorts of the reading that we were doing, and it was required that we do that as well. Also, we did a lot of writing. And this criticism of business schools, and I hope of this business school, is totally wrong. That in class we do encourage participation and people do speak up. And we know we have our ethics course, and we hope that we have lots of written exams, not true false multiple guess, but we really have long written answers to serious questions in our pursuit of truth. At graduate school, Tommy and I disagreed on one professor who he loved and I didn't. I'll just say I didn't. He would say, pin it down. What is the problem? Find the problem and pin it down. And I wanted to say, shut up already. But every class session, here's the problem. Nobody pinned it down. You guys aren't doing this the right way. And he'd bang on the desk. And I don't know how you could like that guy. Anyway, then we had another guy who taught, we took a 3-hour course in writing business and research reports. And it was my best course. I made my best grade right there with that man. And I don't know where he is today, but I once again, he was terrific, and I did very well in his course, and I was pleased to do so. But we were encouraged to write and to talk. And it's so important as we leave here and go out into the business world to be able to do both. And finally, I want to say one thing about ethics. As you all read the papers, you know that periodically, as often as monthly, they march people off to jail from Wall Street. I happen to know 2 people who had serious errors. One went to prison, the other did not, but probably should have. They knew the difference between right and wrong. But I wonder if maybe we need to do a little extra work on the difference between right and wrong. We need to have everybody raise their hand and say, I will not cheat. I will not copy others' work. I will attribute where it requires attribution without fail. And I think that is really important. And as you go out into the business world, you know the difference between right and wrong, and you say, no, I can't do that. I will not do that. And I think that's so important in our curricula that we proceed down that road. Well, that's really what I wanted to say, and that's probably more than you wanted to hear. But I thank you all for coming, and I just think this is wonderful, and I'm so happy, and I especially love my friend Tommy Wells.
We have to cut a ribbon. All right, we do have one last official act to undertake here, and that is the cutting of the ribbon to officially dedicate the Arthur J. Bauernfeind College of Business. So we will get that done and take a few pictures. And then you'll get a chance to talk to Dr. Bauernfeind and Diana and express your thanks. Let's right up here. Right up here. Diana, come on in here. Stephen, you want anybody else up here?
Stephen, is this good? Okay.
Yeah.
You want to do this?
Yeah, no, two of you just need to get it. But give them the warning, so with the picture they can get this
Everybody got the picture?
get this on the money.
3, 2, 1.
Thanks for attending, everyone. We appreciate you coming out for the dedication. Get a chance to say hello to Art, Diana. Happy homecoming, go Racers. Thanks, everyone. Congratulations. Thank you very much.